Hey guys, it is Coffee and Questions time. Wednesday the
27th.
27th. Wednesday the 27th. So I hope everybody's having a great week. We got lots of things going on. Had a really good day yesterday. I'll tell you about that later. But I want to jump right into this. But a couple things first. Many of you already know this, but yesterday I spent 2 or 3 hours getting all of the sign covers of the day into that album on Facebook. Our video the other day on Monday, there's a link in the description, and I'll put the link in the description here as well, and that will take you directly to the Facebook page, and then you'll see the albums there, and there'll be an album, SCOTD, sign cover of the day. It'll be an album there. There's now 216, I believe 216, and after this there'll be a couple more. So every day I will just add the sign covers of the day to that album. So it's a place that you guys can go, and they all got the names on them of who made them. That's what took the longest, several hours doing that. Anyway, so finally got that done. So any other announcements that we wanted to make?
Yeah, I don't know when you want to.
I'll talk about the seminars at the end.
Right.
Okay, so the first question from Bobby Lee Russell, and this is a question that he actually called me on the phone. This has probably been a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's having some problems with bleeding issues on his boards. So what was happening is, and we kind of went through it and kind of dissected what was happening. So you guys know that I use 2 different kinds of black. This is a spray ink, an actual stencil ink, and I'm kind of emphasizing that especially for the new people. So I have always used this for decades. I've always used this for my black in my background on and for inset letters.
And that's what?
Marsh Spray Stencil Ink. Okay. Up until, I don't know, maybe it's been 6, 8, 9 months ago, we found this. This is kind of a special order thing. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it different places, but it's kind of tough to get. This, however, you can get at Walmart. This stuff works just as good as this stuff, and it's not quite half the price. It's a little over half the price, but it's much cheaper and it's much more available.
Quit shaking it. I zoomed in on it.
Much more available. Don't do that then.
Yeah.
Bad. Okay, that's bad.
Turn it just a little bit. A little bit.
This way?
You have a glare on it. That's why I can't read it. Bring it
So,
over this way. I still can't read it, so just tell what it is.
Oh, it's Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Primer. Make sure it says just primer, not paint/primer, primer/paint. Don't use just the Rust-Oleum paint, just the primer. That's the only one that works, that I've found. Maybe you found something else, but that is what works for me. So anyway, he was having issues with bleeding into the board. So what we finally, after a bunch of questions and stuff, what we finally determined is, number one, if you're using this can, this nozzle comes out much faster than this nozzle. It's just the design of the nozzle. However, it comes out even faster in the summertime because the warm causes the ink or the pressure in the cans to expand, and it comes out like a fire hose. So he was overspraying is what it was. Basically, he was overspraying. How you avoid that? Keep these in the refrigerator. I have a special refrigerator that's in our office that we keep all kinds of stuff in. I keep my ink and my paint in the summertime. Of course, out here we have probably warmer than most of the people listening to me, but still, if you have 80, 90 degree temperatures outside, keep these in the refrigerator. It will keep the gases inside from expanding too much, so it won't come out like a fire hose. And so he was definitely overspraying. That was the big deal. Now you guys also know that I recommend, if you're using pine or something like pine, I use a sanding sealer on before I ever start my process. Before this black ever touches that board, put your sanding sealer on. I put the sanding sealer on when I first get the board back from Lowe's when I use Select Pine. And there's many videos on that in the playlist as well. But the biggest thing is, even if you're using sanding sealer, if you're spraying too heavy, guys, you will get bleeding. Trust me, you will. I don't care, especially on light colored boards, it'll be really, really noticeable. So keep these in the fridge. Even if you don't keep them in there all the time, put them in there a few hours before you get ready to spray your signs. So that's a tip for you guys. So that's what we determined was Bobby's big issue. He was just spraying it way too heavy. Okay, question number 2, coming from John down in Australia. He said, I'm doing great apart from putting varnish on color. As you can see in the pictures, and he sent me a couple pictures, and I'll show you those in a second. I was putting on the varnish and I noticed the paint was blistering. I thought it was maybe because it was very, very cold in the morning. And that might have had something to do with it, but my hunch is it wasn't necessarily the temperature. Although mild temperatures would be better. I hope you can give me some idea of why. And the other thing that he said he was doing is he had 2 different kinds of varnishes and he was mixing them and then putting them on. Number 1, that's a bad idea to do anything like that unless you test it first. Maybe they are compatible, but you never know. One might be oil-based and water-based. They might be just completely... Anytime I'm mixing stuff like that or doing anything for the first time, always test it on something first. But the other thing, and here's the 2 signs, and he'll be the first sign carver of the day, by the way. These signs really came out nice. However, he said that on this sign here, that the paint was blistering. Now, I don't know. He didn't say in his email whether he was painting on with a brush all of the blue and the white and the red. I don't know. But all I know is that if I'm ever painting, not spray, but painting with one of these and painting, out of a can, I never put finish over the top of that paint. That is always the last process.
Move it out of the way of your face.
This is always my final process. I put all my finish on first, then I put my paint on. That's the last of the process. He did it the opposite way. My hunch is the varnish, and there's 2 big reasons that I do that. And again, guys, these are just my recommendations. You guys have your way and it works, great. These are just for me. This is what I found. When I put color on my board first, then I put my finish on after that, 2 different problems with that. One is when you've got white, if you've got a finish that has any amber to it, it turns out white, kind of an ugly yellow color. I hate that. That's the number 1. The number 2 is exactly what he said. You might get blistering or wrinkling or, some kind of the fact that the finish is attacking that white somehow, the pigments in the white. I don't know the real reason why it does it. I just know that it will do it. So I always put my color on after. Now, his second sign is really a cool sign, and he's waiting to hear from me on what to do on this, because obviously this board has no finish on it at all.
Wow.
He just painted the white. So I answered him already, and this was actually just this morning. I answered him already. Well, maybe it's tomorrow in Australia, I don't know. But great looking sign. But my hunch is that if he tries to put his varnish, number 1, don't mix your varnishes. I think it's always risky. And if he tries to put varnish over this, it'll turn that white yellow. I'm assuming it will. I'm sure it will. And he may have the same issues. So he's got 2 choices here. Sand this all off and then put your finish on, then put your paint on last, or go ahead and risk it and put your varnish on. If he's using varnish, try not to mix them. Put your varnish on and hope for the best and see what happens. and kind of figure that you're probably going to have to repaint it anyway. So, you know, it's your two choices. But never, 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 never will I put my paint on before I put my finish on. Now, that is for this kind of paint. If you're using, I already showed it
Well,
before.
I know, but what if somebody hadn't seen it?
Hadn't seen what? This?
Yes.
I showed it before, though, didn't I?
No, yeah, shaking it around. You pick it up and
okay.
shake it all over.
All right, Miss Director.
Okay.
So if you're using any kind of paint that you're going to paint on with a brush, put your finish on first. But if you're spray, that's color as well. If you've got a spray ink, or if you call black color, that I put on obviously first. Then I put my finish on over that. If you're using paint pens, I think you can get by with paint pens underneath a finish, but that I really haven't tried that much. I would still use, if I'm using paint pens, I would still put those on top. You may get away with it. I just don't know. I would still put those on top of the finish. If you're using Sharpies, like for temporary color, Sharpies, that I do put on before the finish, because I've done that for years when I used to carve signs out on site, and I would color the heart red or the leaves green or whatever with Sharpies. But that's a different thing altogether. It's not really paint. That's more of it's a Sharpie. It's like an ink. So then you can put your finish on over the top. So anyway, I hope this helps, guys. I feel real bad that, and I've said this, honestly, if you go back and watch my videos, I've said this on many, many occasions when I'm painting. But I get that question a lot of times because there's always new people coming in that haven't seen those videos. We're running long.
You're at 12 minutes.
Yeah, I knew we were running long. But I really had to get into that. So I hope that helps, guys. If you have any questions, get a hold of me. So that was, who was that? John Lee, I think, from Australia. John Lee, yeah. John Lee. So he is the first sign carver of the day. These are his two signs. Great job. I mean, I really, really, really like them. Second sign carver of the day is Trevor Rogers. I like this. It's kind of a free-form style. Big scallops. So the way I'm assuming the way he did these big scallops is he just put his big chamfer bit or his 45 degree and he went for an inch or so, or however long those scallops are, and then lifted it up and came in and did another one. But really cool.
Okay.
I guess those really wouldn't be considered scallops, but they're just elongated scallops to me. All right, that's it. So,
sorry, this is so bouncy.
Huh?
Sorry, the camera's so bouncy.
The camera's bouncy. Why is the camera bouncy? I thought you said I was bouncy.
Yeah, well.
Anyway,
go.
all right. The seminars. Again, if you have any questions on them, email Vicki. Her email will be in the description. But October 5th seminar is like half full. Our announcements on dropping the price on the seminars, people are really starting to come in now. So we've still got slots on all of them, but you know the cutoff is about a month away, the end of October, the end of August, excuse me. So if you're interested in coming to those seminars, $50 a deal. Anyway, if you have any questions on it, Vicki will email you a whole list of all of the benefits and all of the details on it. So if you have questions, email us and let us know. What am I forgetting, babe?
Share LTS.
Yes. Oh, LTS on Saturday. That's right. Thank you. Live training session coming up on Saturday. We won't be doing a newsletter on Friday because we got the LTS on Saturday. However, I am going to make a special announcement on Friday. So don't miss that. It'll only be a few minutes, but special announcement on Friday coming down to the end of the month. So I want to get this message out. So that's on Friday. Saturday, LTS. Don't miss that if you can. It'll be on Facebook. We'll be doing Facebook Live probably. I'm pretty sure we will. we've got a strategy that we hope will work better than we've had issues in the past. Hopefully our signal will hold out for that hour, but our signal is really iffy out here, guys, so we apologize if we have issues with that. But again, it'll be broadcast or it'll be posted on YouTube shortly afterwards. So everybody, have a great day. Have a great week. Share and like. Give us a thumbs up on this if it was helpful for you. And tell everybody about it. And we will see you guys on the special announcement on Friday. See ya. Bye.